Alright, so talking about the electrophysiology of the heart is kind of like a stretchy lecture, but it's a very simple lecture if you actually just understand the concept. This whole concept is just trying to look at, okay, how impulses are generated in the heart. Okay, which side are the impulses generated? All the various nodes of the heart, and how these impulses are being transmitted from the atrial, okay, down to the ventricles. All right, that's just what the electrophysiology word of the heart actually means. All right, so we have colorful images and we have what stacked up lectures for you guys. So just stay around. We'll combine the images and the lectures and all that and see how we can be able to make sense out of this. So look at this. The initiating event for cardiac conduction is what? Depolarization of the heart. All right. So the electric current that spreads through the heart are produced by the pacemaker cells, all right, and are propagated by specialized conduction tissues to the heart muscles. All right. So now talking about the ECG, ECG will only record what the depolarization, as stimulation, and repolarization, as recovery potentials generated by the atria and the ventricular myocardium. You know, this lecture is under the ECG, so that's why they are bringing ECG here. So moving now to fully start the lecture now, I want you guys to spot the sinoatrial node. Okay, I will say that this depolarization will stimulate. Okay, depolarization stimulus will actually originate from the SAN, that's a sinoatrial node. Okay, so now the sinoatrial node is a collection of what? Pacemaker cells that exhibit what? Automaticity. So like they trigger on their own without any stimulus, all right? They keep bringing up what? Impulses on their own just like that. Okay, so then next, this depolarization, okay, will now spread through the right and left atria, followed by what? Atrial contraction. So now it means that what? If there's electric current starting up here, it will now spread to this top side of the heart, okay, to now spread to the top side of the heart, okay. Then the impulse will stimulate, okay, then the impulse stimulates pacemaker and specialized conduction tissue in the atrioventricular node and the bundle of His, and these two regions actually constitute what? The atrioventricular junction. Now it means that from the sinoatrial node, it will now spread and stimulate what? The atrioventricular node, okay, and the bundle of His. Uh, For atrioventricular node, then bundle of His, we have the left one and we have the right one. Okay, so now impulses are coming from the sinoatrial node to stimulate what? The AV node and bundle of His. Perfect story, right? I hope you guys can still follow up. Start from the sinoatrial, stimulate the atrioventricular, and what? The bundle of His. Now, this bundle of His actually divides into the right and left bundle branches. Okay, you guys can see here, we have the left bundle branch, we have the right bundle branch. Okay, so it divides into the left and right bundle branches that ramify into Purkinje fibers, which rapidly transmit the depolarization wave front to the left and right ventricular myocardium. Okay, so now the left bundle branches actually divides into two. Again, like the left side will still divide into two. uh which one? Bundle branches, the left one will divide into two. All right, now it will divide into what is known as the left anterior fascicle and the posterior fascicle, and the left posterior fascicle. Okay, now the right bundle branch is thin and undivided and terminates at the level of the anterior papillary muscle of the right ventricle, where it ramifies into Purkinje fibers. Okay, you can see that the right forms the Purkinje fibers. All right. Now, the depolarization wave then spreads through the ventricle wall from the endocardium to the epicardium, and this will trigger what? First of all, it spread in the atria. It triggered the atrial contraction. now it's spreading through the ventricles. It will now trigger what? Ventricular contraction. So that's why the atria and the ventricles actually contract at what? Different times. All right. Now, the electrical impulses generated and propagated during the process of depolarization and repolarization of the atrial and ventricular myocardia are dictated by the electric contact points, that's the electrodes that can be placed on the body. So when you place the electrodes on the body, those electro signals and lines and all that is because of all these electrical wave movements that are ongoing in the heart. All right. So now, by the aid of a machine called the electrocardiograph, the dictated electrical impulses are transcribed into a graphic record called the electrocardiogram. Now, electrocardiography is a branch of physiology that studies actually studies the recording and analysis of an electrocardiogram. Okay, so that's simply what the electrophysiology of the heart means. Simply how these impulses are generated and what transmitted throughout the heart.